Hey everybody, Mark coming at you again from Sattui with our Wine of the Month Club recipe for December. And what says Christmas and the holidays more than our Sattui California Madeira? So one of my favorite things, not only to sip on at the finish of one of these meals, but also to take into the kitchen. So a quick tip to all of those of you at home that I haven't told before, our Madeira can actually be an exact substitute for vanilla, part for part, in any recipe that you could possibly think of. Kick out your vanilla and sub this in instead. So today I thought I would share with you one of my favorite recipes for the holiday, classic pecan pie. Our California Madeira, of course, it's almost like a pureed pecan pie. I often tell people it's like throwing pecan pie, creme brulee, caramel, and toffee into a blender. So the ultimate of complement pairings will be to get all of those things together. And I think pecan pie and Madeira, one of the most perfect matches out there for the holidays. But this version that I'm gonna give you guys today is even more quick and simple than some of those others that are out there. So very easy. We're just gonna begin with 3 eggs. And go ahead, crack these into a bowl. And we're just gonna lightly beat these. We don't want to really whip them. We just want to break up the egg yolk and the whites. And that's good enough there. All we need is just a little bit of separation. And to this, we're going to be adding about a ½ cup of granulated sugar, and in here with it is about a teaspoon or so of fresh cinnamon, 1 cup of dark corn syrup. Now there's going to be 2 kinds out there, the light and the dark, and the massive difference is that the dark will include the molasses, and that carries a lot more of those deeper, darker, caramel-like flavors that pair so beautifully with our Madeira. Lastly is 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And just to mix these ingredients until well incorporated. Now if you're someone like me who spends a lot of time in the kitchen, we always tend to, our home chefs will always have their grandmom's or their mom's pie crust recipe. So feel free, of course, to utilize what's near and dear to your family's heart as far as pie crusts go. But if you don't want to do that, or if you don't have that in your family, easy enough just to go ahead down to the grocery store and you can pick up pre-made pie crusts that are already rolled out. And then it would just be a matter of layering it into an oven-safe pie dish. And do what we call docking in the industry, which is just to take your fork and make a bunch of holes in the bottom. And what this is gonna do is let the steam escape, and so that we don't get any big bubbles. We want this dough to stay nice and flat to cook evenly on the bottom of the pan. So this alleviates that, and I always do a few on the side for the very same reason as well. So you can just work your way around. And of course, the main ingredient in the dish, fresh roasted pecan. And always go for the halves, don't go for the pieces. You know, something about pecan pie is just to get that whole half of that nut in there with all that mouthfeel. So, about 3 cups of those have gone in. And easy enough that we just pour our mixture right over the top. And you're going to want to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And just make sure all of your layering here is spread around. And go ahead right on into your oven. All right, now straight into our preheated 350 degree oven. And middle rack is perfect. And we're going to set our timer for 50 minutes. Typically, I love to put a little whipped cream on my pies, no matter what kind we're talking about. But if we're gonna make whipped cream, forget about vanilla. Like I told you, it's all about Madeira. So we're gonna make a Madeira whipped cream. And it's all gonna start by reducing down some of our Madeira. Now, some of you right away say, oh my God, reduce it. It's already pretty reduced. It's pretty thick, viscous, but we need to take it to the next level so that it keeps this whipped cream nice and light and fluffy. So, a medium hot pan, and we're gonna start with about a ½ cup of Madeira, and we're gonna put this over high heat, and it's going to go, just a couple of minutes. And don't be afraid when you see this happen. Flames are natural, that's alcohol. And we don't really need the alcohol in this dish. We're looking for the concentration of flavors. So by burning off the alcohol and also by evaporating the water out, of course, everything else is going to become so much more condensed. So let's get the rest of the ingredients rocking and rolling while that is reducing down. And that's going to be a 1.5 cups of heavy cream and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Just your average cake mixer here is going to be fine. If you have a Cuisinart at home or if you have a KitchenAid that has that whipping tool, even better. So at high speed, and we're gonna bring this up to what's called soft peaks. And I'll show you what that means in just a minute. Now, when we talk about soft peaks in the kitchen, that's what we're talking about, the stiffness or how much you have whipped your cream. So if we were over whipped and I pulled these up and flopped it over, that peak would just stay stiff and up top there in the air. But a soft peak will form a little point, but when you tip it over, it will bend down. So this is the perfect time to add our now chilled Madeira reduction. Now, once this Madeira has cooled a bit, we can add it to our cream. So we'll start up the blender again and drizzle this in as slowly as you can. So now that our Madeira is nice and worked in, and we've made our way to now what we would call the stiff peak, where it still holds its form. So this is the perfect time to go pull out our pecan pie and get ready to serve. All right, guys, time is up. Oh, look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, and of course, the last thing to do is to top it with our beautiful Madeira whipped cream. Now let's dig in. And you really get the highlight of that Madeira in the background. So much more complexity, guys, than even the best vanilla you can ever find. So here's to the holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone. Eat well and drink well. We'll see you soon.